Jai Guruji. Namaste Guruji. Sangaji, by Guruji's Maharaj's immense grace, we have started the reading of his blessed Granth, the Light of Divinity. So continue the same. Today the satsang we read is under the title A Girl Grows Up Under Guruji. Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwara Gurur Sakshat Par Brahma Tasmai Shri Guruvai Namah. The Guru is Brahma, Vishnu, and the Lord of the Lords. The Guru is the living God. I prostrate myself before the Guru. My faith in God's kindness and His love for mankind had always been shaky till I met Him in flesh and blood in the form of Guruji. Explaining Guruji's grace in words is a Herculean task, just as our prayers are answered by God. Similarly, Guruji's satsangs bless the speaker and the listener and lead to bliss. I have heard that God gives us rewards and punishments according to our karmas. But I have seen Guruji burning our ill deeds in the heat of his divine fire to give us better and more comfortable life than we would have had if we had not come to his holy feet. The first time I had Guruji's darshan, I was in class 11. Though I had been born in Punjab, we lived in Noida, and my acquaintance with Punjabi was non existent. Therefore, I could not understand anything, be it Shabads or Guruji's words. Even then, my answer to any query on my first experience invariably reflects how great I felt after that visit. This was followed by many more fascinating experiences which helped ground my belief in Guruji. My master's voice speaks through me. On an annual day school function, I was tasked with delivering the opening speech. I had been doing such things regularly, but this time the chief guest was a senior official. My concluding lines had the gathering putting their hands together. I was deluged with compliments as soon as I came off the stage. Every teacher and student, with surprise on their faces, told me that it seemed as if I had transformed while delivering the speech. An even bigger compliment came when the chief guest's address was found to be revolving around my speech. In fact, he reiterated my concluding words as his own conclusion. Everyone found it surprising, but I knew it was Guruji who had done it all. In fact, the moment I began my speech, I could sense an energy in me that enabled me to deliver the speech with great punch. Moreover, Guruji was with me in school as a number of times, for often I could smell his rosy fragrance, helping me through class 12. When I moved to class 12, academic pressure mounted. One day, while giving prasad, Guruji asked me about the subjects I had opted for. I told him I was a commerce student, and he started asking me questions about economics. He queried me on credit control. Though I knew the answer, I went blank in front of Guruji and could not answer. Guruji concluded the conversation by advising me to be serious about studies. Though at that moment I was unable to fathom what had happened, during subsequent months I realized that what Guruji had done. Guruji's words of caution had me taking special care of economics. This ensured that I was fairly well prepared to face what happened later. For the second half of the session, we had to study the subject on our own since our economics teacher left the school. But Guruji's forewarning helped me avoid last minute blues, and I scored 97% in economics. As my board exams were approaching, my visits to Guruji became less frequent, partly due to Guruji's instructions that I study. It was on 13th January, Lohri Day in North India, that I accompanied my parents and brother to Guruji's place to seek his blessings for my board exams. This visit was expected to be the last before the completion of the exams. Guruji distributed prasad that day and was giving toffees when it was my turn. Though Guruji's instructions in journal are that the prasad is to be finished at Guru's place only, the toffees are an exception. So I had a part of the prasad and kept a part for consumption at a later date. I went to bow to Guruji for taking his leave. When I was about to get up, he took out a photograph and gave it to me, though I couldn't see any photograph packet near him. I was delighted, as Guruji's photo is a prized possession. What Guruji had done that night started unfolding on our way back. As I was holding the photograph, I realized it was exuding his fragrance. His fragrance came off the photograph throughout my board exams. I used to carry the photograph with me to the exams. After the last exam, the moment I returned home, the fragrance disappeared, as though Guruji had blessed the photograph specially to take care of exams. When we reached back home that night, I counted the number of toffees left. I found I had 12 toffees, which made it a couple of toffees for each of the 6 papers. With toffees as prasad and Guruji's photograph and fragrance with me through all the papers, I ended up scoring very good marks and gaining admission in one of the top colleges in Delhi University. Love, an ice cream, and the best birthday ever. Guruji, along with a few devotees, decided to go to a hotel in Gurgaon and asked me to join in. Very shortly, we were at the Bristol Hotel, and I was the one hogging Guruji's special attention, as I was the youngest of the lot. Guruji walked briskly around the terrace of the hotel, settled down, and ordered cold drinks for the Sangat. We had a great time, since the cold drinks were accompanied by snacks and followed by ice cream. On our way back, while everyone was getting into their respective vehicles, Guruji specially inquired about my whereabouts and saw to it that I was comfortably placed with someone for a drop back at his place. When we reached Guruji's place, Guruji asked me how the experience was. It had been absolutely wonderful. Guruji also asked me whether or not I had ice cream. I had not, since I had a sore throat, and I told him so. He said I should have had ice cream since it would have cured my throat, but I found later that those simple words of Guruji had cured my throat anyhow. Since then, I have never had severe throat trouble, which troubled me at least once a year. Guruji's admirable care and affection was again evident on a very special day. We were enjoying Shabads and waiting for Guruji to start distributing prasad. On Guruji's instructions, the prasad was brought and kept right next to him. Guruji began distributing prasad from the side where I was sitting. In fact, I was the first to have it on that day. As I went ahead and took it, Guruji sprung a well kept surprise. He conveyed to me in Punjabi that I should enjoy myself, as this was my birthday. No one in the Sangat knew about my birthday, and no one in my family had told Guruji about it. This was my best birthday ever. Guruji doing the impossible. After my graduation from Delhi University, for a short spell, I wasn't studying. Then Guruji instructed me to join the MBA course through correspondence from Symbiosis, a premier management institute. I filled in the form and was through with the formalities just in time to get admission in that session. For the examination, I had filled in a South Delhi center as my first preference since it was closer to our residence. But somehow, when I got my admit card, I found that the examination center allocated was across Delhi. My father tried to get the center changed, but we received communication from the Pune headquarters of the college that a center was once allocated could not be changed. Due to exams on successive days, it was impractical to travel a one way distance of about 45 kilometers daily. So I had to plan a stay at my grandparents' place, 10 to 15 kilometers from the center. The problem was that living with my grandparents at Noida made it impossible for me to have Guruji's darshans. I somehow managed the first exam, but even before the second exam, I was so upset that I began thinking of skipping the remaining exams. I cried as I wished and waited for Guru's grace to pull me out of this situation. But what happened next was beyond my imagination. As all the students were quietly writing the exam, a faculty member of the center turned up and inquired if anyone wanted to switch to an alternative center out of a list that included the one I had tried for. I pounced on the opportunity. After the exam, the faculty member told me that their center was facing a space crunch due to which this decision had been taken, and he confirmed the change of my center. I thus had the opportunity of visiting Guruji during my exams. Who, except Guruji, could have forced such a dramatic turn of events? Understanding Guruji's power is much beyond our comprehension. They confound logic. Once, when the Sangat had assembled at Guruji's, an earthquake occurred. Everyone remained seated while Guruji in his seat, but as it persisted for more than 8-10 seconds, there was some unrest. Sensing this, an initially unmoved Guruji, who had his legs folded on his chair, put his feet down. The, the reverberations ceased. Yet another time, Guruji had gone to Bade Mandir with some devotees, including me. At the entrance gate, construction was on and there was a patch of wet cement. A wooden plank had been placed to facilitate the Sangat's movement. We used it to cross over, but Guruji decided to walk through the patch. To our amazement, there were no marks left on the wet cement. When we examined the spot just after, even a finger touch was leaving the mark. Marriage in 15 days. Once in Guruji's Sharan, all our troubles and worries are taken care of by Guruji. Since our knowledge is limited to experiences we carry forward and the situations we face in the present, our understanding of our needs is limited. On the contrary, Guruji knows of our future needs and in fact makes provision for their fulfillment. Guruji had decided when I was to get married and in fact had communicated the same to my mother about 6 years in advance. But in fact, when the wedding actually happened, it took place at an almost unimaginable pace. In the beginning of April, Guruji suddenly asked my dad if any marriage proposals were under consideration. Dad told Guruji that though our relative had mentioned a proposal, we had not heeded it since we were not seriously thinking about my marriage. Guruji asked Dad to go ahead and consider it with more seriousness. Dad thus reverted to the family. The groom to be was posted in Sweden and was expected in India on 16th April for a month's annual vacation. It was decided that both the families would meet on 17th April. On 17th April, when we met for the very first time, in a couple of hours, the mood turned festive. All the arrangements were done then and there, and we had our ring ceremony immediately on our very first meeting. Within a couple of days, the marriage date was also decided, the 30th of the same month. The arrangements were made on a war footing, and I got married on 30th April. Though Guruji was physically not present at the marriage, Guruji's grace was evident in every bit of whatever happened that night. Everyone present there could not stop appreciating the decoration, ambience, food, each and every aspect distinctively reflected Guruji's grace. Meeting Guruji at Eiffel Tower. My husband was booked to return to Sweden by the middle of May as he had to join office. But arranging for my passport and visa in 15 days was impossible. An application was made as soon as possible, but the Swedish embassy told us that all the visa applications had to go to Sweden for approval and only then could they grant a visa. So Sushil, my husband, had to leave alone as postponing his program was not possible. In Sweden, he also visited the embassy to get the case expedited. A month passed by. It was in the first week of June that we felt I might get the visa in a week. We got an air ticket booked for 16th night and the countdown started. It went to the wire. On June 16th, our visit to the embassy looked like going in vain. They said the visa was not available. I was disappointed since it meant a delay of at least a week. I communicated this to Dad but decided to give it another shot. Miraculously, the officer handed over the visa to us in the next couple of hours. Delighted, I called up Dad to break the news. He was surprisingly not surprised. Dad later told me Guruji had already told him about my visa sanction 15 to 20 minutes before my call. I realized that without Guruji's intervention, getting the visa on the day was impossible. Guruji is an endless source of love and possesses ultimate powers. He is not bound by physical barriers. He can seamlessly see the past, present, and future and transverse any distance at his disciples' call. In Sweden, my husband and I planned a visit to Paris over a weekend. When we were at Eiffel Tower, first floor, I was overjoyed as I felt Guruji's strong fragrance. During my very next phone call with Dad, I was told Guruji was asking about me the other day. Dad told me the date and the time of his conversation with Guruji. Some calculations revealed that when Guruji had asked Dad of my whereabouts, I had smelled his fragrance at the first floor of the Eiffel Tower. An account of my experiences with Guruji is akin to a dumb woman trying to explain the taste of a sweet. No words can articulate who he is and what he means to me. I could just request Guruji to hold our hand always, as he has done through these golden years of our association with him. It is said that Paras, philosopher's stone, converts iron to gold on mere contact, but Guruji can convert a useless stone into a diamond. Only total faith and devotion are required. This is Satsang of Aarti Singla Auntie. Shukrana Guruji. Thank you, Guru Maharaj. I seek forgiveness with folded hands from Guru Maharaj and all of you Sangaji for all the mistakes that I made while reading. Jai Guruji, Shukrana Mani.